Hello financial fans, talk a little bit about buying and selling stocks, and I'll tell you in advance the types of stocks I buy and sell are NASDAQ, NASDAQ stocks, and New York Stock Exchange, NYSE stocks. I trade those types of stocks. If you're in a different country from the United States, before you trade any stocks, be sure to do some investigating and find out what types of stocks and what the rules are in your area. But my main rule is buy low, B-U-I, buy low, sell high. There are some advantages sometimes to losing money in the trade, like you would buy high and sell low, and that might give you enough of a tax write-off at the end of the year, but we won't get into things that are beyond the scope of this particular video. What I want to do is have you think about the stock market for a year before you actually trade. Play it on paper. Imagine right now, what stock would you buy, what stock would you sell, what stock would you hold? And as I have made clear, I trade the stocks in the United States, the NASDAQ and the NYSE, New York Stock Exchange. And long ago, I studied the market for at least a year before I traded. I probably average about 10% gain each year over the past 45 years that I've been trading. And the stocks that I buy, I have rules for each individual stock. When I'm buying a stock, some of the things I like, and by the way, I don't trade options, I don't trade pink sheets, I don't trade penny stocks, and I do trade stocks, and I do trade ETFs, exchange traded funds. You'll learn a lot more about them over the next few months, I'm sure, and I do recommend that you do a lot of studying before you buy or sell a stock. The first stock I would recommend for anyone to test is the SPY, exchange traded fund. Anywhere you see an article about the SPY, S&P 500, study whatever they're writing about it, because it will pertain perhaps more than any other stock or exchange traded fund in your portfolio. Look for undervalued stocks. You'll find undervalued stocks by looking for a dividend over 3%, a PE ratio of 10 or less, familiar brands that we know. If I said breakfast cereal, you'd probably say Kellogg's, even though there are other companies like General Mills, and there are many choices to make. And if I'm buying a stock, and this is flexible, I do trade stocks that have dividends less than 3%, but I try to find 3% or more. It's not too high to scare anybody off, and it's not too low to not give you value. If you find enough stocks with a dividend over 3%, you've already beat what you'll get on your stock at the bank with the. You're pretty well guaranteed that you'll get your money back. Now, if you get your money plus about 3% interest on your savings, that's pretty nice, and you'll probably have a good retirement fund built up by the time you're in your 50s or 60s, depending on what age you are now. But try to get a dividend over 3%. Find a stock with a PE ratio of 10 or less. PE ratio is the price earnings ratio There are stocks right now, some stocks that look good for me. They have a PE ratio of 10 or less, and familiar names that you know. A stock that's been good to me recently and at different times when I felt it in my portfolio, Ford Motor Company. I like Ford, and there are things that can happen to Ford Motor Company, and I'm not saying this just to advise you to buy Ford Motor Company. You do your own research and buy or sell when you think it's right, and study the market for a year before you do jump in. But Ford Motor Company makes automobiles, and they have made them for many years. I think, this is only my opinion, and it is something you can watch in the future as you watch stocks as they trade going up and down. I think Ford Motor Company is undervalued right now, and it's priced so low that someone like Apple, for example, someone with lots of cash, should buy Ford Motor Company, build electric vehicles. Actually, it would make sense for Elon Musk to invest enough money into Ford to make that one of his own companies, and he could use it to make Tesla as a part of the Ford Motor Company lineup. But other things that I like to find in a company before I buy it: the average volume, 1 million shares or more. You want a stock that is hard for someone to take over. Most people won't have enough money to affect the market day after day by buying and selling strategically. So the thing to do is just watch for stocks that have an average volume of 1 million or more shares daily. If they only have 10,000 shares traded daily, someone can do stuff that makes the money funny. Look at sectors. What sector will be going up in value soon? And a sector would be something like pharmaceuticals, oil stocks, defense stocks, entertainment stocks, automobile stocks. The possibility of you making a lot of money in the stock market, if you know what you're doing and you get a style of trading, you can make an average yearly income from stocks that would be enough to double what you would get by leaving that same amount of money in the bank. I have about 20 stocks and ETFs, exchange traded funds, that I more or less hold on to, and if one of them looks like they're really doing good, I'll sell it. Buy low, sell high. Sell the stock when everyone wants it. Then when it goes out of favor and nobody wants it, that's the time to buy it. Buy low, sell high. I'll tell you more about the stock market as time goes by. I'll tell you what stocks I trade, what stocks I am following, just because I think this is a likely upward moving sector, and all these stocks in this sector, like right now oil, looks like it's going to get a big boost. We hope it does not involve any physical violence or anything, but it is better for you to make money when stocks are going down than to not make money when stocks are going down, and it is better for you to make money when stocks are going up. And that's just a fact. You will do good with your income, your money. If you're a nice person, you'll still be nice after trading stocks. But for right now, that's information. Well, I'll tell you about getting a brokerage firm. If you decide at some time in the future, near or far future, if you decide you want to make money in stocks, you want to trade stocks, the thing to do is check with the brokerage firms. I recommend the big brokerage firms like Charles Schwab, Fidelity, Vanguard, JP Morgan. And start small. Start, as I've said before, with SPY. Make that the first exchange traded fund that you research. 500 different companies in SPY. So we'll leave that out there, and I will give you information as I buy and sell stocks, and we'll hope that things go better and stocks go high and peace is everywhere in the world. And I thank you very much for watching.